Thanks guys and girls for listening. We're back on the Always Moto podcast and you might be watching this on the YouTube channel. So thank you for watching us over there on YouTube. Let's jump into the emergency department heading into this first round of the Pro Motocross Series at Pala this Saturday. It's going to be an interesting one and we're going to give you a quick rundown from the emergency department list that's hung over from Supercross heading into this opening round. So let's jump into that emergency department right now.
The emergency department. All the injuries, all the gory details, and when they'll be back on track. It's the list you really don't want to be on.
This list is horrible. It's been that way for quite some time in Supercross now this year. Like we went through in our last episode with the injury stats, it's 123 injuries in Supercross, which doesn't leave a lot of people, left running around out there at the moment. But we've done our best to try and check in with most of these guys leading into this weekend. We've got most of them with responses back. We haven't got everyone, so some of these details at this point might not be completely accurate. And obviously a few people are on the entry list, but we're not sure if they're actually going to be able to race or not. So we'll go through that right here, right now. Let's start at the top. Obviously Eli Tomac out with that Achilles injury. No expected fill-in for Eli at Star Racing. And we expect him not to be back anytime soon. We don't expect to see him at least until 2024, but we'll worry about that much later as we hear more about the injury recovery process for him. We'll see where that gets to. We've checked in with Derek Kelly on that AEO KTM, the number 41. He had some internal bleeding after getting hit at Salt Lake City, but it's all recovered. He peed blood for a couple of days, unfortunately, which is what tends to happen when you get an internal injury, especially in that lower back region because your kidneys are so right there in your back area. But that's all cleared up. He's all good to go. He's had a couple of days rest, so he's probably not firing on all cylinders at this point, but he will be pretty good there, ready for Pala this weekend. Justin Barsha, big question mark. He's on the entry list. He has that shoulder injury, that fracture that has to heal naturally. He had the collarbone fracture that got surgery. He had some rib fractures as well. He's back on the mountain bike, but I haven't seen him on the dirt bike. He is entered on the entry list, like I said. Maybe he shows up, maybe he doesn't. We'll know when he rolls out on track or if he doesn't. So watch this space and see what happens. We'll let you know if we hear anything in the meantime. So keep an eye on our social media channels. John Short is out with a wrist injury. We've been in touch with John. He's had surgery. He's got a nice big external fixator on there that he will get removed here probably in the next week or so. But we're hoping to get John Short on the podcast here very, very soon, probably next week. We'll see how that works out, but no John Short for outdoors. Luis Macias, we've checked in with him. He had an ankle injury at that final round. Second to last round, but he is not doing outdoors anyway, so that's not an issue for him. He's just going to be recovering. He said to us that he will be back for Supercross in 2024. We checked in with Benny Bloss. He had that surgery on his collarbone, same weekend as Justin Barsha's injury there at Nashville. But at this stage, he's not racing. He's confirmed with us he's not racing at Pala, but he is currently enjoying family life, which is awesome, while he recovers. So he doesn't have an exact return date set as yet. Maybe that will be sort of around round 5 when the series gets back to Redbud, because there's a little break in there. Maybe we don't see him. We're not really sure at this stage. He might just enjoy family life for the summer. He'd take this season off. I don't know. We'll see what happens. Cooper Webb, the big news is just in earlier this week, he's going to race. He's recovered from that concussion that he said to everybody he had a 6 to 8 week recovery time frame on. Clearly that wasn't the case, but he has gone through obviously all the checks and he's cleared to ride, which is awesome. So he'll be back on track and supposedly at this stage doing all 11 rounds on that KTM Red Bull team. So good luck to Cooper Webb. Pierce Brown is out with a knee injury, and we have Caden Braswell filling in there at the Troy Lee Designs Gas team. So Pierce obviously had that hand fracture, and then he also had a knee injury that he was carrying through the season. He had that cleaned up with a surgery at the same time as getting his hand repaired. So he's out for the foreseeable future. Probably back around that midpoint of the season. We'll wait and see how the recovery goes. Checked in with Bobby Piazza. He had that hand fracture that forced him to miss from the second last round onwards. But he is not doing motocross at this stage. He can't afford it. So the injuries aren't playing a factor in him not being there anyway. Checked in with Joshua Varese. He had a concussion there in those final couple of rounds for the West Coast Series on that AEO KTM. He's number 42. But he is back in action, ready to go this weekend for Pala, which is awesome. Checked in with Scotty Wennerstrom. He is out. He doesn't do outdoors, but he is recovered and all good. And he's doing some training schools this summer. So if anyone's checking out that sort of things in his area, I don't know what his area is, sorry, but I'm not that person to check out. But check out Scotty Wennerstrom's Instagram pages and you'll probably find those details. But he's doing training schools this summer, not outdoor motocross. Obviously, Nate Thrasher is out with that knee/hip injury and recovery. He will be likely out until 2024, but we'll check back on that one later in the season. Guillaume St-Cry, he's not doing motocross in the States. He's going to do some Canadian rounds, but he's all good from his concussion, which is also good news. Christian Craig was obviously out with that elbow and that hip issue. The hip issue looks pretty good from what we've seen on his vlogs. He's still having, obviously, post-surgery recovery from the elbow. And I don't expect to see him until very late in the motocross season, if at all. We'll see how that goes. Styles Robertson. I don't have any update on Styles Robertson at this point in time. He had that tib-fib fracture. I would suspect that he would be a mid-outdoor season starter, but there's been no information, no information and no response from Styles at this point to our reach out. Seth Hammaker, we've checked in with, got a response from Seth, which is awesome. He's been a bit MIA recently, but he is out for this weekend, but he is back on the bike, which is awesome. Much like his pro circuit teammate, Austin Faulkner, also back on the bike this week. I would suspect that they're going to be about a month of training and riding, getting comfortable, which is expected. They've been off for quite some time now, getting things tested and set up, and we would probably see them maybe around that Redbud round, maybe a week or two after that. We'll see how they go and obviously how their comfort feeling comes back and their speed and all that sort of stuff. Another pro circuit guy, Cameron McAdoo, obviously out. So that leaves the team with Jet Reynolds, Ryder DeFrancesco, Joe Shimoda, and Carson Mumford for the time being. All right, Scott Meshy, we've checked in. He had that tib-fib fracture there towards the three quarters of the way through Supercross, but he's in. He's back. He's checked in with us. He's doing all good. He's out in California, ready for the race. So awesome to see. Lucas Marcellisi is in. He's recovered from that concussion, and I believe he's riding 450s. He was on 250s in the Supercross. He's riding 450s. Jesse Flock, we've been chatting with a little bit, but we don't have all the details. It looks like he might have a bit of a back issue from his Daytona crash as well that has taken a bit more time. So we're waiting to hear more on him, but at this stage he's out. But assuming he's out, we'll get more information we'll bring that to you as we get it. Michael Mosman is in. He's recovered from that neck and some concussion issues. So he'll be on that Troy Lee Designs bike as well for the Gas team, which is good news. Let's hope he can have a injury-free season and make the most of it this year. Dylan Ferrandis is in. He's back from that concussion as well, which is awesome. He should be ready to go. He might be the surprise at round one. We'll have to wait and see, but he's been training outdoors for just a fair few weeks now without any interruptions from Supercross, so be interesting to see how Dylan goes this weekend. Phil Nicoletti is out, still recovering from that wrist injury. He looks like he's been back on the bike, but he's not ready. He's still fighting some range of motion issues. If you follow his Instagram stories, he's on there quite often. He had most recently with a stocking up his arm with a dumbbell in the stocking, trying to help his wrist extension. There's better ways to do it, Phil. If you want to get in touch, let me know and I can help you out. Preston Kilroy, we've checked in with. He unfortunately had those double wrist fractures in the first East Coast round of Supercross. Missed the whole season for Supercross, but he is back, which is confirmed that he's racing Pile this weekend, which is awesome. Malcolm Stewart still out, knee injury. Won't probably see him until very late this season, if at all, but he has to re-sign that deal with the Rockstar Husqvarna team, which is awesome. Marvin Muscan pretty much missed all of Supercross with Red Bull KTM, but he's back riding two-strokes of all things on outdoor tracks. But I believe he's out for motocross at the moment. Maybe we see him later on. Maybe he gets a fill-in ride. We'll see what happens to the team riders across the series and whether we hear anything about Marvin filling in or something along those lines. Garrett Marchbanks is back with Club MX Yamaha. He is back from that wrist injury. He is looking fast from those videos that you've seen on Instagram, which is awesome. So hopefully he has an injury-free run. He's on that 250 as well. Justin Rodbell is back. He confirmed this a while ago that he was planning to be there, and he will be at Parlour at round one. I should check a bit more with that one. Maybe we'll double-check that one as we're going here, and maybe we'll pass some more information on our social channels about Justin, but we'll double-check that one. Brandon Hartraft is obviously out, has still recovering from multiple issues, injuries from his crash before the preseason of Supercross. Hope all is going well for Brandon, but yeah, obviously out from motocross at this stage. Jason Anderson is our last one on our list at this point. and he's still out from the neck fracture. He's not on the entry list for Parla. Hopefully he will be soon. Again, I might suspect him around that red blood point as well, but we'll wait and see how it all goes. But that's our quick injury list to check up. We're obviously not comprehensive on this one. Guys and people are all about trying to get ready for outdoors, or not doing outdoors at all and don't care when I've contacted them. So we'll wait and see. We'll obviously have more information after this round one. So check back next week on the YouTube channel and the Always Moto podcast to find out more about your favorite rider. And if there's an injury or why they weren't on track, we'll get some more information after this weekend, I'm sure. So check it out. The original and the best injury content here on the Always Moto socials, channels and Instagram channels and YouTube's podcast, everything. We're the best injury information you're going to get anywhere, anytime. So check us out, like, subscribe. Thanks for watching.